You know, guys, I love music. And I love music for a lot of different reasons. One of the reasons I love music is because music is a lot bigger than just music. And I'm going to prove that to you. Well, when you think about it, music is actually reading. Yeah, like reading notes, right? But music is also history. The history of music. Remember when we talk about like Beethoven or Mozart or Michael Jackson? But music is also science. Do you believe me?
Yeah, I saw this.
Well, music, when you think about how instruments work by vibrations. And when an instrument makes a vibration, that sends out a sound wave. And sound waves bounce off the ceiling, the floor, the walls, and eventually goes into your ear. Okay? And it vibrates your eardrum. And that sends a signal to your brain. Science, right?
So you mean like this?
Do you all hear it?
Yeah.
Then yes, just like that.
Or like this?
Alright. Now, music is also social studies. Well, when you think about it, you hear music from all different cultures, don't you?
Yeah.
Like maybe Chinese music or Mexican music. Okay? But music is also math. And that's what I want to prove to you today. Yeah, music's math. Now you guys have worked on fractions before, right?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, you guys have worked on fractions starting with a little bit of an introduction in second grade, but you really worked on it in third grade. Is that right? Okay, well now that you're fourth graders, we should be pros. And this is going to be a piece of cake. So what I'd like you to do is take a look at this dollar. Now up here I have a dollar. Wouldn't we all agree that this is one whole dollar? And how many pennies is a dollar worth? Yeah, 100 pennies. Okay, so let's take our dollar and let's cut it in half. All right? If we were to cut our dollar into half, how many pennies would we have in each half?
50, or it could be a 50-cent coin.
That's right. Oh, you've seen a 50-cent coin before?
I have two.
You have some. Very good. Now maybe not everybody has seen what a 50-cent coin is, but this is called a half dollar. And a half dollar is worth 50 cents. But wouldn't we all agree that these are half of a dollar?
Yes.
And that both halves together are the same as one whole dollar? Let's go one step further. Let's take our half dollar now and let's cut it in half. Okay? So if we had 50 cents before, how many cents would we have now? 25 cents. And what do we call a 25-cent coin? A quarter. So we would have two 25-cent coins, or 2 quarters for this half dollar, and 2 quarters for that half dollar, for a total of 4 quarters, which is worth how much? A whole dollar. So we could say that one whole dollar is worth the same as 2 half dollars, or 4 quarter dollars. Are you all with me so far? Well, then let's make our example a little bit more tasty by talking about a pizza. Now up here I have one whole pizza. Wouldn't we agree that this is one whole pizza?
Yes.
And how many slices are in our pizza? Are in our pizza? 8 slices. Very good. So let's cut our pizza in half. And how many slices would we have in each? 4. So both halves, 4 plus 4 equals 8. So 2 halves are the same as one whole, right? Okay, go one step further. Just like we did before when we took our dollar to a half dollar and then we went to what? Quarters. So now let's take 4 quarters of a pizza. How many slices are in each quarter? 2. So could we go one step further?
Yes.
Yes, we could. If we took this quarter pizza and cut it in half, how many slices would that be? Alec? 1. And 1 slice would be 1/8 of the entire pizza. The reason he said 1/8 is because he's saying that there's 1 out of 8 pieces, right? So we would have 1/8 plus 1/8 would equal 1/4. So we have 2 1/8 right there. 2 1/8, 2 1/8, and 2 1/8. For a total, how many 8 slices or 8 parts of the pizza? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So would we not all agree that this slice is 1/8 of the entire pizza? And then if I took 8 of them, that would be the same as a whole pizza. Right? If we took 8 slices, that would be the same as, yeah, okay, great. Now, let's go on and talk about a further example using blocks. Oh yeah, I have them right here. But, just so that we're being consistent, is this not one whole block? And if we were to cut it in half, how many half blocks? 2 half blocks. And if we were to cut those in half, how many quarter blocks? 4 quarter blocks. 2, 3, 4 quarter blocks. And if we were to cut that in half, just like we cut our pizza in half, or the quarter pizza. 8 eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 eighths. Hey, real quick, let's pause. Think of a different line of thought here. Do you know what the top number in a fraction is called? Jacob. Numerator. Numerator. And how about the bottom? Jaden. Denominator. So the numerator, have you noticed, stays 1? But what's happening toward denominators as we get smaller? Everybody. Ah, you double them. And doubling is another way of saying multiplying by 2. So 2 times 2 is? 4. 4 times 2 is? 8 times 2 is? 16. Did you know we could go one step further? And we could have 16ths of the block. And how many 16ths would it take to make one whole block? Everybody. 16. Let's count, make sure. Count with me. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
16. So 16 sixteenths takes up the same amount of space as one whole, correct? Just like 8 eighths take the same amount of space as one whole. 4 quarters take the same space as one whole. Hey Jacob, can you put your hood down for me? Thank you. And 2 halves take the same amount of space as one whole. But Mr. Doublestein, I thought you said this has to do with music. It does, because it has to do with the notes. So, let's look at this note right here. Everybody, what is that note called? What? A whole note. Won't we agree that's one whole note? By the way, how many beats does a whole note get?
4.
Okay, so let's take our whole note and cut it in half. And what would we get? 2 whats? Quarter notes? No. Half notes. You get 2 half notes. Now let's take this half note and cut it in half. What would we get?
3 third notes. 3, 2, 4. 1 third note.
No, there's no such thing as a third note.
Oh, I know.
Well, guys, think about your dollar. Remember we had a whole dollar and we cut it in half and we had 2 half dollars? And then we cut those in half and what did you get? Quarter dollars. And in this case, we would have 2 quarter notes for that half note. 2 quarter notes would fit in that half note. And that's a total of how many quarter notes? 4. So is it not true that 4 quarter notes takes up the same amount of space as one whole note? Right? Let's keep going. Take this quarter note, cut it in half. What do you get? Everybody.
1
Well, how many eighth notes would fit? 2. Yeah, you'd fit 2 eighth notes inside of that quarter note. Okay, now here they look broken up, but let's string them together. Those are the same thing. whether they have a bar across the top or whether they're broken up, those are still eighth notes. And just like when we had eighth of a piece of pizza, remember, or eighth of a pizza, how many pieces was that? It was 1 out of 8. Do we have eighth notes here? Yes, we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Those are eighth notes. Now let's take our eighth note. Let's take just one of them and split it in half. What would we get? So, how many 16th notes for this 1/8 note? 2. Very good. So 2 16th notes there, 2 16th notes there, and if we were to connect the bars, it would look like that. How many 16th notes should we have? 16. Let's count them together. 1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
So is it not true that 16 16th notes takes up the exact same amount of space as one whole note? Because ladies and gentlemen, that is how music is math. Let's use a level of rhythm cards to practice this skill. Okay? Now we already know that a whole note goes like this. Ta, ah, ah. And a half note says ta. And a quarter note says ta. And 2 eighth notes say ti. And 4 16th notes say take that. Okay? So we're going to do rhythm cards. Let's do level 8. Rhythm cards level 8 using 16th notes. Are we ready? Yeah. Okay. By the way, we'll also add dotted half notes because we've been working on that as well. Yep, everybody sit up straight. Here we go. And 1, 2, ready, go. Keep going.
Thank you.